Call it a midnight revelation when there is nothing but everything. The reason that the name of God cannot be said, cannot be spoken, is because it has no name. There is no definition. This doesn't cause any loss of meaning. It just causes loss of definition. And when you lose definition, that opens the door for omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient. You become everything. And there are no boundaries. There are no limits. There's no beginning. There's no end. You become everything. And so the God that cannot be named is the God that, the one that we've tried to define. But you can't define it. And when you lose definition, it becomes everything. Absolutely all of creation, all of time, every single part of a tangible world, every single part of an intangible world. It becomes energy which cannot be created or destroyed. It becomes the flow state when you lose your identity and you just exist in the state. It rips apart time in the fact that living in the moment does not mean there's a past behind you and a future behind you or in front of you, and you're stuck between them. It literally rips them from existence. And you are only in the moment. And you're without definition. And you're without boundaries. In the Gospel of Thomas, that famous quote of, "Split a piece of wood and I am there, lift a stone and you will find me." It's still using physical definitions to try to explain it. And it's not saying it is within the wood, and it's not saying it's under the stone. It's saying that it is everywhere at all time. And by it, I would call it God for lack of any other better way to explain it. But God and energy are the same thing. As humans, we try to understand energy as something we can control, we can direct, we can manipulate. But the fact is, that's the energy we think of when we think of wires and batteries and motors and generators and everything. But that's not, because the energy is also the wires themselves, and the energy is also the air around the wires, and the energy is the ideas that created the generator and the battery, and it's the wire that was created from the copper and from the minerals in the ground and from the ground and from the earth and from the God that cannot be named is not out of pride and not out of some sacred religion that wants to keep it a secret. It's literally something that cannot be defined. It is everything. It is energy. And our identities of who we are as an individual person, and using the words and the power that we associate with God by saying, first there was the Word, and then there was creation. And we talk about being I am. where the I is not an identity, it's merely a starting point, because we're trying to put something into words that doesn't actually fit in words, just like the name of God does not exist within boundaries, within definitions. When you get to a point of you can just say, am, you become the energy, you become the existence. You realize that everything is God, including us. And again, using that word God as a title, it's like saying energy. But it actually does not encompass all of what it is, because it is beyond comprehension, beyond word. Because when we try to comprehend it, we try to define it, we try to put it in a box and put definitions on it. And it's not possible. It's when you lose those definitions, when you lose the boundaries, when you lose the need to understand it or to be able to explain it, when you get beyond that, is where you find all. Whether it's energy, whether it's God, those are still words. But it is literally everything when you don't try to defend it, define it, prove it, explain it, share it. It's beyond that, because it is everything without boundaries, without definitions, without understanding. It simply is.